Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light and have been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. This year I decided to read the text again. And so I'm reading it a paragraph or two at a time and asking Jesus to clarify for me. And then I write from that clarity. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. Today we're reading from chapter 3, section 6, Judgment in the Authority Problem, paragraph 5. When you feel tired, it's because you have judged yourself as capable of being tired. When you laugh at someone, it's because you have judged him as unworthy. When you laugh at yourself, you must laugh at others, if only because you cannot tolerate the idea of being more unworthy than they are. All this makes you feel tired because it is essentially disheartening. You're not really capable of being tired, but you are very capable of wearying yourself. The strain of constant judgment is virtually intolerable. It's curious, and an ability so debilitating would be so deeply cherished. Yet if you wish to be the author of reality, you will insist on holding on to judgment. You will regard judgment with fear, believing that will someday be used against you. This belief can exist only to the extent that you believe in the efficacy of judgment as a weapon of defense for your own authority. Well, this paragraph had a very strong influence on me from the first time I read it. I'd always thought I was tired because I did too much or didn't get enough sleep. Sometimes I would be very emotional and would feel tired, but I didn't get the connection. Reading this paragraph, I understand that the body is not tired. It's the mind that's tired. I did not at first understand the significance of the idea, but now I understand that the body isn't tired, strong, weak, sick, or anything else. The mind is these things, and it is projected outward so that it seems the body is the problem. Believing my projection is real, when the body gets tired, I give it rest. And if it gets tired too often, maybe I give it iron supplements or take it to a doctor. Can you see the absurdity of this? I value the idea that I could be the author of my reality, so I would see my body as tired and sick and suffering before I'd give up judgment. It's important that I understand what I'm doing and why. I'm not going to stop doing it until I accept responsibility. I believed that being tired meant I needed more sleep or some magical remedy. This simply assures the problem would never be resolved. I'll get sleep and feel better because that is what I decided on. But I'll just get tired again because the real cause of my weariness has gone uncorrected. As I've become willing to see the cause, I've become willing to allow my mind to be healed. It didn't happen all at once. First, there was a belief that the body is autonomous and that it gets tired. Second, the cause is something that happens in the world. There's a wall in my mind. Behind this wall is a building made up of many blocks. Each block represents a situation in which judgment is used. This wall maintains the core of the building, which is the belief that I am my own maker. Ever since I read this paragraph, the wall has been crumbling. I've tried to ignore it, but it has crumbled away to the degree that it can no longer hide the building. Now I see the building and I can no longer pretend it's not there. I've started dismantling it one block at a time. Here's an example. Someone sent me a joke based on the apparent ignorance of some people. At first I laughed, and then I noticed that I didn't want to laugh at this. It really is disheartening to judge my brother. A block that makes up the structure projecting my belief that I am my own God has been removed. This happened as I chose against judgment. One night, some time ago, I arrived home from working out of town. I was surprised that my grandson was not home. I texted my daughter to let her know I had a little gift for her. She said she was going to a graduation for her cousin on her stepmother's side of the family. This started me thinking about being alone and not included, and I felt resentful. I began to feel sad and lost interest in the projects I had to do. I felt tired and just wanted to watch TV or read a book. This is an example of exactly what Jesus is talking about. He says that judgment is what makes us tired, and it is judgment that keeps the idea of separation going. I want to be my own author, to be my own maker. I was making a woman living alone and lonely, separate even from the one she loves the most. And I made myself a victim of unthinking and uncaring children, and I wore myself out with all my judgments. Luckily, I've been practicing mind watching for a long time. Even then, I recognize the difference between true thoughts and ego thoughts. I have decided for God so often that it is my default choice now, and I very quickly choose indifferently by asking the Holy Spirit to heal my mind. Watching the mind, asking for correction, and accepting the healing. This is how I have removed the blocks that have hidden the source of my problem. Now I'm willing to look without flinching at the belief that I want to be my own author. I've become willing to see what I have done. I had deliberately chosen to make myself this separate, alone, and lonely woman, and I didn't care who I had to make guilty to achieve that goal. I didn't care how bad it made me feel. I wanted to be successful in my objective as a maker of myself. Here is something more important. I have become willing to let go of the idea that I want to be the author of reality. I'm still removing blocks, and I will do so until that tiny mad idea stands unshielded by my judgments. Then I will see it die its final death. I'm okay that this is done in small steps, and I'm not worried about it. I've learned to let go of guilt about this kind of thing. Turns out that guilt is a glue I made to ensure my illusion stays in place. So I'm letting that go too. Thank you so much for joining me in this writing. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another reading. See you then.